Frequently asked Q&A on your sourdough starter part 1. I don't know if I'll have a part 2, but I just know I get a lot of questions, so just in case, this is part 1. Do I clean my jar every single time that I feed my starter? Yes, this is why. A lot of people are okay with this kind of stuff being in their jar every time they feed, but for me, I don't like it, and I feel like my starter grows best when I clean it. What I do is I take everything out, clean the jar, which is what I'm about to do, and then I refeed in the same jar. It's just clean. Question number 2, why is my starter taking so long to grow? A number of things. It could be your jar, it could be the temperature of your house, it could be the type of flour you're using. So here's my recommendation. Make sure your starter is in a warmer environment. It will grow better. A lot of my followers have said, hey, put it in the oven and turn the light on. Just don't forget to get it out before you're going to bake something else. The other thing is make sure you are not screwing your lid on the jar. You wanna make sure that if you have a lid that you are placing it on like this, not screwing it on, or using a washcloth and a rubber band so the gases have a chance to escape for the jar so your starter can grow. Number 3, if you feed your starter at 2 p.m. and you're on the 12-hour feeds, do I have to wake up at 2 in the morning? Absolutely not. I'm not about that craziness. If you want to be about that craziness, you can, but you do not have to. When you get up 6, 7, 8 a.m., feed it then, or feed it before you go to bed. My best advice is to feed it when you wake up. That way it gives it a little bit more of a chance to grow instead of feeding it too early. Question number 4, how long do I have to wait after I feed my starter to make a loaf of bread? It definitely depends on how fast or how well your starter is growing, but typically you can mix a loaf of bread within 4 to 12 hours after you feed your starter. You want it to be active and bubbly, and a good rule to follow is as long as it has doubled in size from when you fed it, it's probably ready to make bread. Question number 5, how many loaves can I make with my starter that I have fed? It depends on how much starter you have. I normally make 2 to 3 loaves with the ratio that I've shared with you, but sometimes you can make more, sometimes you make less. Sometimes if you're just now starting, it's probably best to only make 1 loaf of bread at a time. But if you have more and you want to make more than 1 loaf, you can definitely do that. Whatever you don't use, refeed your starter and then put the rest in your discard pile. The last frequently most asked question is, can I use my discard when I'm growing my starter? I recommend waiting until your starter is fully active before you start saving your discard. I promise you, once your starter gets going, you will have plenty to put in a discard pile, but until that happens, until it's nice and active, don't worry about keeping your discard. I promise you will have plenty. Comment more questions below about sourdough and sourdough starter if you feel like we need a part 2. Thanks for watching.